Fred asked me to share his special Easter story with you this Semana Santa 2022. Borrega barbacoa y consommé. Rico.
Listo.
So you got your cilantro, your lemon. You got your onion too? Okay. Perfect.
So you're making your taco.
I made my taco a la natural. I don't want to put anything in it. It tastes so good just like this. Somebody come on down and visit and we'll come eat.
Yeah.
The broth is good.
The broth is excellent.
Did you enjoy the lamb meal we just had?
And each year it gets better and better. Yeah.
And we do have a tradition to eat lamb every Easter season.
Yeah. And that started in 2007. So it's a very personal pain or loss that I experienced.
So if there's a viewer here that's not interested in this, we invite you to not watch this particular video. That's fine. This has nothing to do with retiring in Mexico in one aspect. It has everything to do with retiring in Mexico if you are one of those who has found yourself in extreme struggles, pain, trying to go through the tunnel and find the light of a new beginning, retired in Mexico. And then this story is probably for you to help you keep the hope. Tell me about it, Fred.
All right, Cindy, this was even before I met you. I was in the process of my 5th year of finding the right place to retire in Arizona. And I got a phone call that my oldest daughter had a recurrence of cancer, which she had like 3 years before that, which she did successfully defeated it, and now it came back. And it came back with a vengeance. So I made a decision that I would go back to New England, and I didn't want to deal with snow because that's why I was looking for a warmer place to live. So I ended up buying a place in Wayne, West Virginia. A place that was, it was less than a mile from this little Baptist church that I would go to on Sunday. And so I bought the place, paid cash for it out of my retirement fund, and started the process of driving to New Hampshire, spending 3 weeks there, because she would have, on Friday, every Friday, she would have 3 successive treatments. So I would go spend the 3 weeks up there, and then drive back to way out Wayne, and then would drive back up and do the same thing over again. 3 successive Fridays. And the thing that was amazing is that Diane would do the treatment on a Friday, and people who've had cancer treatment, the first one was the most intense one, and on Monday morning she'd be back to work. I don't believe she's ever missed a day of work during the process of her chemo treatment, which was almost a year. And of course my hope and prayers was that she would lick it, she would defeat it, like she did the first time. So in the process of, this was like a 13-and-a-half-hour drive. During the process of going up there every 4th week and driving back and then driving back up, this is how I met Cindy. So I met Cindy, and I can remember asking God, is this something I should pursue? And that voice said, no, not yet. And I learned from recovery is you follow what that voice says, you know. And I did not pursue. My goal was to help my oldest daughter. I heard from Diane's husband that she was they were waiting for the vehicle to come bring her to the hospice home. So, and it was, the next day was Easter Sunday morning. And I was scheduled to go be with my sisters down the Cape. So as I'm coming up the Turnpike, New Jersey Turnpike, you know, I knew at some point in time I have to make a decision whether I take a right to follow 95 that would go down to the Cape, or I take 84, which goes up through Hartford, Connecticut, and head to New Hampshire. And I remember praying and saying, God, just let me do the right thing. I want to be there for my daughter. And he told me to go home. So which I did. I drove to New Hampshire. So I'm driving to the hospice place. And it was a nice place overlooking body of water. And don't even know if she was able to see it.
What had been her desire? She told someone when she wanted to die.
Yeah, she had told me that she wanted to die on Easter Sunday, just like Jesus when he rose from the dead. That was her desire. So I get there, and my first wife was there. My son John was there, and one of the desires was for Diane was to not have her daughter have the memory that mom died in the house. That was her desire. That's why she had agreed to go to hospice, to protect her, the memory of her mother dying. There was lots of crying, I know that. And it still brings that up today. You know. I mean, that was 2007.
So what happened at 2 o'clock in the morning on Easter?
Well, her breathing started to be just like my mother. I was able to be with my older sister and watch my mother die. And the breathing was the same type of scenario. And I remember going up to her and whispered in her ear, because in recovery, I met a guy named Joe Donovan. And he had died on an operating table at the VA hospital in Manchester, New Hampshire. And he was in a coma for 5 months, 5.5 months, a long time. And he came out of the coma, and we became friends. He taught me more about how to live life in recovery than anybody else. And we would take these journeys twice a year. We would leave right after Christmas and drive to where his oldest daughter was, in Ashland, Oregon.
From?
Well, that would be Hampton Falls, New Hampshire. And we did that 1, 2, 3. We made that journey 4 times, which is the journey out. I would fly back for 5 or 6 weeks, fly back to Ashland, and we would drive back. And he shared a lot of what happened those months that he was in a coma. And he always talked about this white light, that there was a white light, and he was excited because he was getting closer to this light. And there was a sense that he was going to be in the presence, which he felt was God. And then all of a sudden, he's going backwards, and the light is going away. And that's when he woke up. So when Diane was there going through what she was experiencing, the process of dying, I shared with her, go to the light. You know, that light is good. It's going to help you. And encouraged her to do that. And then after about, 10 or 15 minutes, Diane's mother went up and on the side of the bed, no different than where I was, and was repeating the same thing that I had said. And 2 a.m. on Easter Sunday morning, she died. Lots of tears, but also joy that she was done suffering.
And what were her last words as she took a breath?
The very last words that she spoke was that she was the Lamb of God. And that's why we have lamb in honor of Diane.
Every Easter.
Yep.
And we have a little lamb at our house beside her picture.
Yep.
And we'll bring it here.
Yep.
We'll go get it. So this is the way that traditions start in families. And if this is offensive to anyone, remember the traditions that you have in your own family. Try to think about the joy or the pain that started them, instead of putting thumbs down or hate words. Or live and let go and let God.
And the best part, after all this happened, I drove back to Wayne, West Virginia, and cried, and why didn't you take me and save Diane?
You fought with God?
Yeah, you see, I know the process of healing. You had to go through that process. And after a week home, that same voice that had told me to wait said, give Cindy a call. And I did. And we had our first date that Friday night.
And where did you go make that call?
There was no cell signal where I was living. I had to drive over a mile up into the hills of West Virginia into a cemetery to call. I thought that was appropriate. And not knowing what she would say. And she said yes. And we had our first date.
And we'll tell about that date someday, because it's quite something.
Yeah. And within a year we were married.
Eating lamb at Easter.
Eating lamb at Easter.
So,
I want to thank you for allowing me just to share something. I know it's going to be healing for me, but there are other people that are going through stuff that may not be the same type of thing, but it's the thing we learn in recovery. You need to be able to share those things because it lessens the effect on me and gives you hope as it gives me hope.
so that was a very black, dark Easter.
Oh yeah.
And how is Easter now?
Oh, it's full of joy and
Sunshine.
sunshine. And,
Beaches.
Beaches. And,
Fun with the guys and gals who watch us.
yeah. Bye.
Bye
Love
for
you
now.
guys.
We love you guys.
That's it. Be sure to subscribe to learn about life in Huatulco and to learn about retiring in Mexico also, because we do share 25 years experience with you. Do you need a virtual mailbox so you can take care of business and personal communication on a daily basis? Are you interested in expat or nomad insurance that's highly affordable? Click our links below. We'll be back soon.
Retired in Mexico!